Namaste, angels. This will be the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, July 1st through Saturday, July 7th. And I think I'm going to be able to pretty much get straight to the reading. We don't have much to discuss. There is nothing on the Hebrew calendar to talk about yet. There is nothing on the Muslim calendar to talk about. And on the Christian calendar, there is only one item. And then I'll jump to the celestial system, and that's going to be pretty quick too. So the one item on the Christian calendar that I would speak about is Tuesday, July 3rd, the feast day of Saint Thomas the Apostle. Thomas means twin. I always say Thomas means twin, and I don't know how many of you guys have checked to see if that was the truth or not, but it is absolutely the truth. So this time I will go ahead and read this little brief piece from Wikipedia about the name Thomas. Thomas is recorded in the Greek New Testament as the name of Thomas the Apostle, one of the 12 apostles of Jesus. It is ultimately derived from the Aramaic personal name meaning twin, and the English spelling Thomas is a transliteration of the Greek. There you have it, and you can look for yourself if you want. Now, why do I know this? Because Thomas is my surname, and my father, Mr. Thomas, is indeed a twin, and his brothers, the Thomas brothers, are also twins. And I'm a Gemini, the sign of the twin. So there's some more coincidences from my life, by the way, connected to this journey and who I am on it as well. So with that said, let's go and talk about St. Thomas the Apostle from www.franciscanmedia.org. Poor Thomas. He made one remark and had been branded as doubting Thomas ever since. But if he doubted, he also believed. He made what is certainly the most explicit statement of faith in the New Testament, quote, "My Lord and my God," end quote. And in so expressing his faith, gave Christians a prayer that will be said till the end of time. He also occasioned a compliment from Jesus to all later Christians, quote, "Have you come to believe because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen me and have believed," end quote. John 20:29. 20:29 is, of course, 11:11. Thomas should be equally well known for his courage. Perhaps what he said was impetuous, since he ran like the rest at the showdown, but he can scarcely have been insincere when he expressed his willingness to die with Jesus. The occasion was when Jesus proposed to go to Bethany after Lazarus had died. Since Bethany was near Jerusalem, this meant walking into the very midst of his enemies and to almost certain death. Realizing this, Thomas said to the other apostles, "Let us also go to die with him," end quote. John 11:16. Reflection that they made based on this. Thomas shares a lot of Peter, the impetuous, James and John, the sons of thunder, Philip, and his foolish request to see the Father. Indeed, all the apostles in their weakness and lack of understanding. We must not exaggerate these facts. However, for Christ did not pick worthless men, but their human weakness points up the fact that holiness is a gift of God, not a human creation. It is given to ordinary men and women with weakness. Okay, we can apply this to ourselves. It is God who gradually transforms the weaknesses into the image of Christ, the courageous, trusting, and loving one. And whether you believe in Christ or not, or God or not, you can apply it. You could say it is the universe that gradually transforms the weakness, right, into the image of an ascended being that is courageous, trusting, and loving. However you want to apply it, it applies. It applies to this journey, period. Okay. On the celestial calendar, during this week, we have on July 5th, Chiron enters retrograde. And I think that I have spoken enough about Chiron in Aries as recently, I think, as last week, that I don't have to do it again. and that anybody who wants further information on Chiron and Aries can look it up. But as I mentioned before, my personal Chiron from my natal chart is indeed in Aries, and Chiron and Aries people are the type, basically, to fall down, get up, dust themselves off, and keep walking without ever mentioning it to anybody. They're not going to tell their friends and family, I fell down. Did you know? They're just going to work on healing themselves and keep it moving. And that's basically what Chiron retrograde is going to be about too. All right, so with that said, let's get to our reading. How fast was that this week? I'm beginning with 29. Email and sex. 29, spiritual partnership. Email could be connected to the communication signs, to Mercury and or Venus in Leo, or to Uranus in Taurus. And sex is sex. However you can get it. On that note, Spirit still says sex. How do you like that? As well as 29, spiritual partnership and sex on the menu for this week. Also, forget it. So whatever would have restricted you, I guess, from that, or anything else that you choose to do as a free being, anything that would have locked you down unwillingly and or unwittingly, forget it. Going to the cards, I'm beginning with the 8 of fire. So right out the gate, here we come with our 8s. And I didn't mean to rhyme, but, you know, I'm from New York, so maybe, and the South Bronx originally. So maybe that's why, you know, the Bronx created hip hop. Anyway, events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. And opening to Archangel Sandalphon, traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. This too can be about communication. Together, the 5 and the 8 equal 13 or 4 or 11, 11. On a related note, but the 8 of fire is not only about things happening behind the scenes and getting moving, but it's also about communication that can be on its way to you. The Unity card, or Major Arcana card 5, the High Priest, as some call it, or the Hierophant, as many call it, is about, well, many things. It can be about higher institutions like school, college, important documents, legality, maybe a government agency or something. It can be about commitment and marriage, or marriage would be one of these higher institutions, and signing important papers too, right? But it can also be as close to us as with whom and what and where we surround ourselves, and making adjustments to just that, to ensure that we're aligning with people and spaces and habits and practices that vibe with us, right? That match our vibration, or something higher from which or whom we can learn. So maybe things are getting moving in that area. And it can be something as simple as you applied for school and you didn't hear back, and you know, you're like, what the heck's going on? Then all of a sudden things are moving and you're going to be in school, you know, soon, and you're getting a scholarship, because this is also the Pentacles. The Hierophant represents the sign of Taurus. Eight of fire. Ooh, opening to the 3 of air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. The 8 plus the 3 there also make another 11. And so maybe there's movement in an area of healing, and especially since Chiron and Aries would be represented by the fire element. So maybe somebody fell down and they got back up and they kept it moving. That can be what that means too. Or they will. this week. Opening to justice with Archangel Raguel. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your belief. Justice represents the planet Venus, ruler of Taurus that I just spoke of from the Hierophant. But this is also, she's also a ruler of Libra, which is represented by this card, Major Arcana card number 8. So again with an 8, and justice. We also, these columns resemble an 11 to me. So now we got some 8 on 8 action, and we got movement in the area of justice. Maybe something was stagnant. Maybe our court dates weren't coming up. They weren't putting us on the calendar. They were leaving somebody sitting waiting without a you know, they never decided like on bail or whatever. I can't think of the word. It's not coming to me. But they, you know, they never processed basically. We got people that have been sitting and waiting for movement in their cases, and it doesn't have to be criminal. There could be movement in your, you know, custody case, movement in your settlement case. You know, you got hurt at the job, something, movement in your child support case or your divorce. You know, we have a lot of legality coming up in the month of July. I've been saying this in general and based on my last several readings, but I have sort of pinpointed it to July more so than August is when I feel that these legalities will be coming up. But it can be July and August with these 8s here too, I guess. And perhaps again on or by the 11th of August in particular. 8 of fire. And here's the win, right? Here's the victory that we're going to get, or reconfirmation of the fact that justice is coming your way. Victory, good news, it's on its way. Public recognition or awards. And we got the 6 and the 8 together. 14 equals 5. A change, again, a positive change, positive movement in this area that had been stagnant prior. Winning where you weren't before. And on that note, I will cut. This may be in part how you brought it about, how you brought about the win with the energy of the magician and number 1. All about manifestation. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them. And life is magical. Guess what? The overall energy is yet another 8. Major Arcana card number 17, the Star with Archangel Jophiel. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. Now, this can be just the fact that we are celebrating in the United States, at least, Independence Day, the day that we got our freedoms from the British, although we have, as of this week, reimposed them upon ourselves when we persecuted people for the purposes of religion or for the reasons of religion in this country, when our Supreme Court decided to ban Muslims. That basically just threw out the First Amendment of our Constitution. But it's still Independence Day initially, nonetheless, in this country. So that could be what we're celebrating. Those are the happy times. But I think more so, and for more of you, the happy times are celebrations that things are finally moving and things are finally beginning to work out. And you'll see that this week. And you, based on that, you should begin to be more optimistic and to make plans for the future. This over a bit. I took out my obsidian hearts the other day, and now I've left them like in the way. I probably could have used my overhead camera for this. I have one, and I've used it before, and so many of you have seen that, but it doesn't record as long as this other one. So that's why I tend not to use it. Crowning the masculine is yet another 8. So this feeling of restriction, he may be the one who has some sort of legal issue or issue that feels, so impactful upon him, that it feels like it may as well be a legal issue. It's that serious to him, and is that confining gives him that being confined of a feeling to him, that it feels like that. The 8 of air, an illusion of being trapped, but that's really all it is, right? Just a feeling, just a thought in his part. It's his overthinking, overanalyzing. It's not real. It's an illusion of being trapped and a lack of self-confidence and maybe being afraid to take action. He is surrounded by the 3 of fire. So yet another 11 here, right out the gate. 8 plus 3 equals 11. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience this time and make long-term plans. Well, this feeling of being restricted for some is going to be connected to some sort of party of 3 and perhaps a love triangle, feeling stuck in a dead-end marriage or dead-end relationship, romantic or otherwise. A friend that's misleading him, a family member that is manipulating him, combinations of those. For others, the 3 of fire is about abundance, perhaps, and things again getting moving in that area. Wands cards for me, the element of fire is about movement. Masculine subconscious, the 10 of earth. So some do have, I think, some sort of settlement or something, some sort of lump sum of money maybe, or lump sum of happiness on which they're waiting, or for which they're hoping. A very happy family life, financial security, and finding magic in the little things in life. The 10 of earth is indeed about just being at peace, not being concerned with the material, because you just feel like your life is in a good place and you just feel secure. Crowning the feminine, the king of earth, here mirroring this 10. Generous, professional, responsible, and practical is the king of earth. He's also a Taurus, maybe, like the Hierophant, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, like our recent full moon. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. When the king of earth shows up, it can actually be a character in your life. The court cards tend to be real people, as in addition to energies. But this can be it can be somebody who's facilitating some sort of financial or, professional, something related to a career or job, or material abundance for you. It can be somebody who recommends you for a job, or, who hires you, the recruiter, the new boss, somebody who's giving you credit. It also is a good time for you to apply for credit when you have the energy of the king of earth. If you've been looking for credit, a loan, a card, or whatever, it's a good time for you to go out there and do that, or to apply for a job. And you may get calls for jobs you didn't even apply for. Somebody else may think of you. Again, help to facilitate that. Think of you and recommend you. It's just, a good time this week for the feminine in the area of finances and career. But I think the masculine as well, provided he can break free of this restrictive energy. If he can convince himself to the contrary, that no matter how real it looks or even feels at times, it is not. And that he has the ability, the strength and the wherewithal to change it. And with the 10 and the 3, we have an 11-11 as opposed to, just an 11. We have this power. We also have a 4. 4 is about our foundations, this power to begin to build some stability in our own life. And 8s in supreme math are related to building. Basically, the 8 means build, destroy. If you're not building, you are destroying. So the masculine has a decision to make for herself. Do I want to continue to destroy in my own life? There's enough outside factors that can do that we don't have to contribute to our own downfall. Or do I want to build? Do I want to be 4 or I want to be 8? Surrounding the feminine, the 7 of earth, seeds well planted. A temporary pause in action, an unnecessary worry. That means if we have sown some seeds, right? If we've planted some seeds, we will be able to sow them, basically. We will be able to harvest them. That's the way seeds work. So anything that you put your effort or work into, again, is going to, this week we will be producing things. We will be reaping what we've sown. Feminine subconscious. It's another 7. 7, 7. The 7 of fire. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. So we may be confronted by someone or something, some sort of energy, and we're guided not to back down from what it is we've determined we want for ourselves, and we're going after, or what belief systems we've taken on or shaken off. We're sticking by it, not letting anybody like railroad us into something else. Crowning. Okay, here comes the conflict that may, attempt to do just that. The 5 of air, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. The 5 of air is, again, a card of conflict, drama, can be gossip and stuff as far as I'm concerned. The air, element of air is about communication. So there could be some miscommunication. And together, these two next to each other, we have another 1111 here. But in this element of air, and in this sort of the dark, the negative aspects of the element of air, right? So we want to work on that. The 5 of air, again, not only conflict and drama for me, but for the more often than not, tends to be something that we like, drama and conflict that we brought upon ourselves. Even if we didn't do it on purpose, it wasn't malicious, it was completely inadvertent. Often it's something you said or did that put some sort of, the wheels in motion for some outcome that comes your way as well. That's the 5 of air. At the root, the Queen of Fire, who's confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. She's also a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, maybe a Scorpio. Both Aries and Scorpio. Ruled by Mars, which is presently retrograde in Aquarius, and can definitely cause us to, it's kind of Mercury retrograde-ish, the description of Mars in Aquarius retrograde. And I went over that already too, so I won't rehash it, but you can look at last week's video or look it up somewhere else if you want to know more about Mars retrograde in Aquarius. But it can cause us to maybe say the wrong things. We are guided to think before we speak, look before we leap, with as long as Mars is retrograde in Aquarius, which will be for the next couple months, I think it was through August, to the end of August or something. I got a lot of dates in my head right now. At the heart of the matter, what I talk about, the 4 of fire. I said the 4, the stability. This is what we're trying to build. Okay, so this is on what we need to focus, and not let this sort of thing deter us or get in the way, or people who would bring this kind of energy. We do defend ourselves against them, because everything else is, lining up for it. And isn't that the time that, something negative, somebody brings some sort of negativity, or the dark tries to attack you, when everything else is lining up for you? So be aware of this. Further clarify these with another tarot deck. And that will be my animal tarot, beginning with Major Arcana card, the Moon, number 18, which represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. So like for here, the fact that we don't see the seeds sprouting doesn't mean that they're not growing. Okay, the way seeds work is you plant them and you put them in the ground, you cover them with dirt, you put the water. You don't instantly see them popping out, but you believe and understand that they will. And that's what this is. Like, we don't have to walk around worried about stuff just because we can't see it or we don't know every piece of thing. Money's still coming, whether we know it or not. Princess of Autumn is cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. Pages bring news. This one brings news of, good things about finances and career. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or a scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or start a more rewarding and uplifting career. As it relates to relationships, the Princess of Autumn, or court cards in general, particularly of the suit of Earth, tend to denote, like worthiness and value, worth of a relationship. And, that you should hold on to it if you can, like money, right? Opposite the moon, of course, that could have been connected to the Capricorn moon, because the page of Earth can be very well a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. So opposite the moon, it could have been connected to the Capricorn full moon, saying that is what, ignited something, sparked something that is leading to an opportunity that's coming your way as it relates to finances, career, the material, or possibly some sort of relation or interaction with an earth sign. Opening now to the star. It's our second star, major arcana card. 17 equals 8 yet again. You are about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism, fear with hope, and joy is coming home to roost. So that's like this here. Replacing this fear and drama with hope. And the fact that, we got 3 stakes in the ground, we just need one more. And here it is. It's like within our sight. Star. And opening to the High Priestess. This is the time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. The High Priestess is a Gemini, or perhaps a water sign. And if I had to choose one in particular, I'd say Cancer, before Pisces or Scorpio, but it could be any of those two. The High Priestess is the type to mull over the information. She's very observant, super observant, and highly intuitive. And so she comes across a lot of information, right? Information comes her way, wisdom comes her way. And then she doesn't necessarily act on it right away, if at all. She can know things and you'll never know she knew. You'll just never know that she knew these things, because she determines whether or not she's going to act on them or whatever. But she will base decisions and things and her movements on those cards. Like she just doesn't show her cards, basically. So you can make plans. You could be being guided to make plans, incorporating wisdom into which you come and your intuition. Positive plans toward your future. Also, be aware that when you make decisions and plans, you can feel confident that your dreams are coming true. Your prayers are being answered, right? Your wishes are being granted. So even if you don't know everything, you know that much. And then base, your movements on that. High Priestess and the Ace of Spring. Here's the new opportunity. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. This is the one the page was telling us about. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and passionately pursue every possibility. So that could be what the High Priestess is thinking about first. She's looking at her cards and she's going to make sure she plays them right. To take full advantage of the opportunity that's coming her way. And it's another King of Earth, right? We got one here. Here's another one. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible. And money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. The King of Autumn is compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. He's also a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. And our overall energy is another 7 of fire. We have one here. Here's one here. 7 of spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. Oh, we got 2 there. Crown of the masculine, the top of the 8 of air. It's the magician. Just like we were shown earlier in the reading that the magician could solve this problem, right? Could help you to manifest whatever it is you need to fix this problem. That's being reconfirmed here. And you being given that energy, blessed with that energy from the universe. There is magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. The magician represents the sign of Gemini for me. But also I attach it to the other mutable signs sometimes. Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, because mutable signs are able to take on whatever sign of the zodiac that they need to in order to make things happen. All right, we are adaptable to all of them. Atop the 3 of fire. It's the Princess of Winter. Logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. It's the Princess of Winter. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. The Princess of Winter is also a Gemini, like the magician. Although she too can be an Aquarius, a Libra, or anyone taking on these, traits and attributes. And if she is one of those other signs, in particular, maybe younger, right? Pages, or the princess, is the more youthful. That's why I attribute it to the sign of Gemini. The mutable signs are the more youthful of, a given element. Atop the 10 of earth, and this feeling of being secure in the masculine subconscious, is the King of Summer. Warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful is the King of Summer. He's also a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or somebody of these traits or attributes. A trustworthy person, right, or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart as well. So this person is keeping it real, and they're coming from a place of love, is what this is trying to say. And that's why you feel secure. That's why you feel good. There can be, again, some sort of party of 3 going on. This is a general reading. I'm trying to cover as many bases as possible. Romantic or otherwise, love triangle or otherwise, it may very well involve an air sign, and maybe most specifically a Gemini, or maybe a Gemini, a fire sign, and a water sign. Or the fire itself can be connected, again, to either the air sign or the water sign, because again, Mars is in Aquarius, for example, so there's your fire and air. Venus is in Leo, there's your fire and air. Mercury is also in Leo, there's your fire and air. The King of Summer, if he is a Scorpio in particular, is ruled by Mars, the red planet, also ruler of fellow fire sign Aries. In addition to that, currently in Scorpio, Jupiter is located there in retrograde. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, fellow fire sign Sagittarius. So both of these, air and water, at least at the moment, connected to fire. Speaking of that Jupiter retrograde, next week Jupiter goes direct, but will remain in Scorpio through October. Atop the King of Earth is the Dreamer, or the Fool in the traditional tarot, major arcana card 0. You are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. So this could be connected to, again, a new job, a new opportunity to, be abundant one way or another, and perhaps a relationship of some sort with an earth sign. Atop the 7 of earth and planting seeds is the Tower. Life experience. Major Arcana card number 16 is the Tower. Important changes are coming to your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. And it sits here under the Dreamer. Now the Tower, some people are freaked out by the Tower. I'm not. It's neutral to me. Sometimes the Tower is good. Sometimes the Tower is bad. The only thing that is true and constant about the Tower is that it's quick and to the point. It's abrupt. It comes through, it's a karmic energy, as in of the universe, destined, meant to teach us a lesson, or to show us something. And it just comes through. I think it's what ignites us to take this leap of faith. I think it's positive. But let's continue. Especially since it's sitting here atop the 7 of earth, which is connected to the seeds we've planted. Again, when you plant seeds, they grow. That's elementary. That's not up for debate. So if this is about the seeds growing and something flourishing, then it's good. And I think it's, again, what inspires us to take this leap of faith here. That's atop the King of Earth, which would signify it has something to do with becoming more abundant, whether it's in a financial sense, material, love, combinations of those, whatever. Atop the 7 of fire, another 4 of spring. So now we have a 4 of spring mirroring 4 of spring. We've got another 8 essentially as well, of the fire element. So again, positive movement in the areas of stability and maybe commitment, and also things going on behind the scenes, like the Tower energy, like that karmic energy going on behind the scenes to help us to move forward that we don't know. We don't need to know. Also, this 4 of fire and 7 of fire together equal an 11. And essentially an 11 of fire is an ace of fire, which we also just saw. So this is another confirmation of the new opportunity that is coming our way. And whatever that new opportunity is, whether it is a job, a relationship, whatever, it is something or someone about whom we are going to be extremely passionate. So if it's a job, it's the job that you always wanted and that you dreamed of, right? The dreamer sitting here atop this job. It's the job you dreamed of. It allows you to be creative in your work. So maybe it's some sort of, art or something. It's your creative outlet. You're making, you're becoming more abundant, maybe making money doing just that. So if you're a computer geek, for example, that's your art. And I say that in a loving way because there's a number of those in my family, especially my son. That's your creative outlet. That's what you're into. That's what you like to do is, to code or to build software, to engineer software or hardware or whatever. And so you get to do that job. And if you get to do it from home, how people that work with computers, a lot of times they get to stay home. This is the job that you dreamed of. This is, what you love doing. Or you're some kind of artist and you get to live life by your own terms. And, I'm going to dye my hair all rainbow colors and I'm going to get piercings all over the place because it doesn't matter. I don't have to work for somebody else. This is my dream job and I'm doing what I love and living how I love. That's what the ace of fire opportunity is basically, akin to and equivalent to. Atop the 5 of air and this funky energy, drama of drama and conflict is the Princess of Summer. Interesting. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced is the Princess of Summer. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. So this conflict, you may be conflicted about whether or not to accept or to make a proposal or offer of love, to extend love to a friend or a romantic interest or something. That can be one. Or you may get into conflict with a Pisces or other water sign, and maybe a younger one, maybe a child, or get into conflict over, a water sign, maybe like your child. Maybe this is connected to, for some, like the court issues or something, which, could make sense being opposite the Princess of Winter in this party of three, or also crossing the Tower and the Seven of Earth, the seed planted, like we call children seeds sometimes too. That can be what that's about there for some. And it's just going to be an event that changes your life. Again, that doesn't, just because that happens doesn't mean it's bad. Or a revelation that changes your life. Something that gets sparked, an idea. And that one aha moment is just life changing. That's the energy of the Tower. Also, the Tower, I didn't mention, is another 7. So we have 7, 7, 7 here. Because remember, under here's the 7 of fire, under here's the 7 of earth. Like the Tower is also 16 equals 7. Atop the Queen of Fire is yet another Queen of Fire. There you go. The Queen of Fire is talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. This is the message they want to drill home to us this week, obviously. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. The Queen of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or maybe a Scorpio, especially sitting here next to the King of Summer. I dropped him. Right? Could be a Scorpio. Could be a Leo. Mercury, Gemini's ruler, currently in Leo. Venus, Gemini's ruler, currently in Leo. Could be representative of the planet Mars, the planet of action, the planet of aggression, giving us this energy as well. At the heart of the matter, atop the other 4 of fire, other 4 of spring, we have 2 cards that came out, and I wanted to reveal them both. Oh, okay, you know what? There's no reversals in this deck, but the extra card that came out is the Devil in reverse. So I think it's a sign of the end of restriction in this area of bringing stability into our lives and positivity into our lives. I think this is breaking free of this 8 of air energy, which it crosses, because they're pretty much the same to me, except for the Devil is major arcana and the 8 of air is minor. You may find that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. I think that's exactly what has happened here. And that it's the Queen of Fire, in large part, who sits underneath these cards twice over, that gave us the confidence to break free. The other card is yet another 7 of autumn. So we got one here and we got one here. So while this progress may begin this week, it also may require some patience. All right, that could be why the 7 of autumn is showing up here again. And now we have 7, 7, 7, 7. Equals 1 equals a new start, right? 7 times 4 is 28 equals 1. Pardon my Rain Manish ways. Yeah, I think you'll begin manifesting the changes, on the masculine side. You'll begin manifesting these changes that you need in your life. Again, possibly with regard to a relationship between an air and a water sign, and most specifically a Gemini and a Scorpio, maybe, Something could be going on between a Gemini and a Pisces. Or these situations could involve your children or someone younger, as the pages keep showing up. But this is a week of positive change, at least being ignited, at least beginning. If you don't get to see the full bounty. Oh, I forgot our overall energy is another 7. I forgot about this. So that means instead 35 equals 8, right? 7 times 5, not 7 times 4. I got one more deck, but I think I'll use it for advice instead, so I don't have to make this any longer. And we can get to the love reading and see what's going on there. Beginning with surrender your addictions, which is connected to, again, this energy of letting go of the 8 of air and the devil, right? Anything that's toxic, codependent, whatever, that's our addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and to replace it with healthier alternatives. And opening to surrender your fear of change. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always, whether you're afraid of change in your job, your health, or relationship, or if you fear aging or death. Repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. And this fear of change is reflected here also. Right, here's the fear, here's the change. So that may very well be the case for some. This coming up as confirmation of that. And a message to those affected by that energy. Surrender your addictions and surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. I think that's connected to the doubting Thomas, right? The Feast of St. Thomas is this week. Banish any doubt that miracles can happen. They call Jesus like the miracle maker, or himself the miracle. And opening to surrender your fear of intimacy. You're ready to let love in, compassionately identify, and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. And here's fear of intimacy being represented. Here's the fear, the conflict. Here's the love. And maybe here's the surrender, right? Taking a leap of faith toward love, even though you're afraid, or shaking off the fear. The devil in reverse could be shaking off the fear. The 8 of air, clarified by the magician here, and the ability to manifest the strength that you need to move past that which is restricting you, is also reflective of surrendering the fear. And lastly, surrender to joy. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and to savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and the easy times, and keep surrendering to more joy. Fear of intimacy. Cut. Surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs, and remember that no is a complete sentence. And both Mercury and Venus and Leo, particularly Mercury, very heavily about expression of our feelings, our needs, our wants, our decisions, our goals. So the energy to do exactly this week as well. And the overall energy for the week is surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. Don't be a doubting Thomas. Don't be a doubting twin, is what that translates to. For those of you who consider yourselves twin flames. Or those of you who are Geminis, since that keeps turning up in the reading too. All right, further advice to the masculine this week. The High Priestess is also back. And she too is an 11, as well as a 2. 2 is about faith. So that could help you with the believing in miracles and not doubting, that they can happen, or not doubting yourself, period. Having some confidence, like the Queen of Fire shows up to remind us. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. Again, for me, the High Priestess is a Gemini or perhaps a water sign who may be impactful upon your life this week. She also guides you to pay close attention to your intuition and to not show all your cards, play your cards close to your chest, as they say. Sign of Pisces showing up yet again in the form of Major Arcana card number 12, Awakening, which is the Hanged Man in the traditional tarot. Represents for me the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces, which it rules. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. So review your situation from another standpoint, a more positive standpoint, like how I talked about with the tower. The tower doesn't have to be negative. I hope I convinced you of that. That's another perspective, a more positive one, another way of looking at it. That's what you need to do in situations that come up in your life this week. Look at them from another way, and it's like time is stalled in the meantime for you to be able to do just that, for you to have the opportunity to do just that, and then make your decisions as to what you want to do. It's important to keep it absolutely 100 with yourself when you do this. Aww. Further advice to the masculine, the 2 of Summer. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. So if there is, let's say, some sort of conflict, bickering, maybe involving a party of 3, sitting here underneath the Princess of Winter, and quite possibly specifically between a water sign and an air sign, and maybe more specific to that, a Pisces and a Gemini, or a Gemini and a Scorpio, even that can be fixed, right? You can get past it, is what they say. Maybe you just have to manifest the positive thoughts. That's what ones are about. What we think and speak over our lives, becoming our reality. So you turn that into a more positive thing, and you have some faith, the energy of 2 or 11, and this is what you can manifest. So the masculine sitting here with an 11-11 or a 4 about stability of his own. The feminine from the Animal Tarot, the 6 of Autumn. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or to receive a grant or scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time, money, or reputable charities. As it relates to love, for me, the 6 of Autumn is, basically it's the same, whether it's about love or it's about other exchanges. It comes from a place of love and unconditional love. It's about giving, the ability to give and or receive without agenda. So that's unconditional love. And 6 equals love anyway. This can be definitely connected to those who are having trouble accepting love, who are conflicted about making an offer of love or accepting one. whether it's from a friend or a romantic partner or somebody in your family or whatever. And lastly, from the Surrender Oracle to the masculine, surrender to silence in quiet meditation or contemplation. Let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. Silence may get you beyond the conflict, those of you who are experiencing that. And lastly, surrender to spirit, feminine. Once you've done everything you can do to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this week's weekly reading and agree with me that it's going to be an awesome week. Whether it's just because new things are starting to flow in your life, abundance is starting to flow in your life, or because you get hit with a whopping dose of abundance, love and good things happening. Also enjoy the 4th if you're here in the United States. Be safe, be well. A lot of people on the roads that drink and drive and stuff over that holiday in particular. Namaste, angels.